Welcome back to Show Your Real Estate Today. Happy Saturday to you. I'm Paul Jameson, your host with the Jameson family of companies. That's Jameson Realty, Jameson Property Management, and Jameson Property Investments. We're glad you're with us today. I'm here with my good friend Preston Salmon with Home Inspection Carolina. We're talking with him about getting ready for your inspection, whether you're a buyer or a seller, and some great items and things to think about. And then I'm going to share with you some tricks that tenants play. And Preston, as a real estate investor, you know some of these, and you might even be able to provide some new ones.
I've heard.
And so I want to share with you just some general things, and then maybe a couple of fun ones.
Okay. I got some
maybe
fun ones.
Maybe more than a couple.
Well, they weren't fun when they happened, but like later.
Yeah, absolutely.
To tell the story, they're fun.
Yeah, and you know, it's. I want to be clear. There are so many great people out there that we deal with that rent.
Yeah.
So this is a very isolated group. When you handle hundreds of properties, there's always going to be a tribe of challenges.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe a couple knuckleheads.
Little outliers. So the first thing we notice when we get applications on property is falsified rental histories. Like one of the first red flags is someone says, well, I don't have a rental history. I've been staying with a relative the whole time. Well, that could very well be true, but a lot of times when we dig a little bit deeper, because we have access to national databases for eviction and other things, or if you do some background checking on previous addresses, you realize that they really have been living with a relative, but maybe only for a few weeks since they just got evicted and are looking for. So they're telling the truth, but they're not telling the whole truth. Right? Right? So also another thing is what they will do is they will, if they're roommates or if they're two friends, they'll put the good tenant on the application and say, well, the other one's just going to be an occupant. Well, that's not going to work, right? Because you screen them both.
Right.
Even though that one person is responsible, in our company, anyone over the age of 18 is going to get screened.
Okay.
If you have a child that comes home for any longer than 2 weeks, we need to be notified. If you have a college kid or whatever, and if they're over 18, they're going to get screened. Okay. Even if you sign the rental while your kid was in school. That's our rules, and we're very consistent. Also, all of a sudden when the one person is on the lease and they qualify, the next thing you know, they bring on two roommates and they feel as though they're paying the rent. They have a right to bring on roommates. Again, the lease is very clear. That's not how it works.
Right.
You know, so new people cannot be added. What's so funny is this happened to us a couple of years ago where someone signed a lease and then they moved out, and the two roommates that they never reported, that they said were just staying there for a week visiting, called in and asked for a repair. And we're like, well, who are you? Well, you know, we're paying the rent now. I go, oh, you are? Well, we'll be over with your eviction notice. Well, what do you mean? Okay, you can read the rest from there.
Right.
So, you know, it's spelled out clearly, it's explained clearly, and we do offer earwax cleaner at our intro. Okay. One other thing that happened to us a few years ago, and these are more exaggerated things, where people will put the phone number of their friends as the landlord reference. So when you call, you get someone who says, oh, they were the greatest tenant in the universe.
Right.
And the address of where they used to live, we go to the tax record and we verify that the person we talked to on the phone is the same person that actually owns that piece of real estate. And we have come across a couple of instances where that is not the case. So just so you know, that's really been fun. But the biggest area of tenant trickery
Okay.
is around animals.
Yes. Now, how's your lease read with respect to animals?
If they're not approved, if they're not on the lease, and most of the time even by name, then they're not allowed until it is approved. And if we catch them, which we do, in our multiple inspections, they got 24 hours
To do something.
So the most common tenant trickery is, oh, I'm just watching it for a friend.
Yeah. I'm house sitting it. Or
House sitting for a friend, right?
In the doghouse? You brought the doghouse over?
Yeah, so he's got a bowl, and you got all these dog supplies, and you got a little sign with pictures of you and the same dog all over the house. Yeah. Facebook posts all over about your new puppy, and look how cute. We're not. We weren't born yesterday, maybe the day before. All right, so here's the most recent.
Okay.
Someone will have a dog or a restrictive breed.
That's what I was getting ready to say, like the aggressive breed that have been
Yes.
known to.
That are not, that insurance companies say no.
Right. And
Okay.
I'm a dog lover, but I don't want a dog that has the potential to.
Yeah, my favorite question mark always comes when I say, what is the breed of the dog? And they say terrier. Well, we know instantly what it is.
Yeah.
So.
I've never heard of a poodle attacking anybody, but I have heard of some other breeds attacking people.
Well, it's more the insurance, right?
Yeah.
You know, like the terriers, they're great dogs. It's just how you train them, right? They're as calm and loving as can be, but it's all in how you train them. But the insurance companies don't care.
Yeah.
Right. But let's talk about the fact that they all of a sudden have a dog that becomes a comfort animal. That is a real challenge, because there are many people out there that legitimately have a need for a comfort animal, and we understand that. However, or an animal that provides assistance,
Right.
okay, of some sort. So one of the things that we have seen lately, we turned down, somebody had a couple of dogs that were big, and we knew that those dogs were not only going to cause harm to the house, they probably could have eaten the house.
Yeah.
And so we denied them, and then they came back and they had a certificate that they said was for, that those dogs were now service animals. Well, if you go on the internet for about $40, you can
That's what
get
I
a
hear.
certificate to make your dog a service animal. Well, here's the thing. That doesn't fly.
Right.
Because in order to have a dog be a service animal or an assistance animal of some type, it needs to be under an ADA certification.
Okay.
The American Disabilities Act dictates the certification, and the rule of thumb is that you don't care about what the person's illness is, you have no right to ask. However, you can ask, what function does the dog perform? That is the only thing you can ask. Okay?
And can you ask the certification of the animal? Like
They have to provide you with the
okay.
paperwork,
Okay.
right? And it has to be ADA certified.
Okay.
So again, those people got denied again, okay? Because a $40 certificate isn't gonna cut it. Also, if they do get one dog approved, one animal, a lot of times, all of a sudden, there's a companion
Yeah.
without approval.
Yeah.
So that
Gotta
puts
have a
them in
friend.
violation. Yeah.
Gotta have a
Yeah,
friend.
Buffy was lonely,
Yeah.
you know, so I get it. And then the last excuse is, well, I told the agent when I applied I had a pet. Well, that doesn't fly either, because it's all over the lease that says you are not entitled to a pet. You sign that says you have no pet. You sign that says you're not bringing in a pet, or that you have a pet, and that if you bring in a pet, it's gonna be gone. Like a country song. So even if you keep it outside, it's a pet. Oh, I love that. Oh, we only keep our dog outside. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're over there.
When he has to
And
go
he's
to
scratching
the
and
when he has
barking.
to go to the bathroom, and he's
Yeah.
ruined the back door because he didn't let him in.
Yeah, I see all those scratch marks on both sides of the door.
I bet you see that as an inspector.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
All right, well, we've got more tenant tricks. We've got more preparations for a home inspection. We have a lot to talk about. We love that you're with us today to show you real estate today here on News 1110, 99.3, and WBT.